Yeah, sure. Well, about a year ago, I got an email in my inbox from Bob Iger that said that company profits were up about 15, 20%, I think, for the quarter. And that was a series of, gosh, I think 6 or 8 quarters, I believe, if I recall correctly. Shortly thereafter, about 2 weeks later, on the way into work, I got a last-minute meeting request from an executive that I very rarely hear from, and so I was surprised about that. So I realized that I was kind of in some traffic, and I had to make it on the office on time to meet this executive and to go to this meeting. I didn't have a clue as to what it was about. On the way in, another friend called me, and I asked him, hey, do you know what this meeting is about? I figured that he might know because he was very well connected within the company, and he was very high level as well. I figured that he could have some insight into what was going on there. He said, well, you've been doing such a great job, and you got the highest possible performance review, so you're probably going to get a meeting to have recognition given to you, maybe a bonus or at least a pat on the back or some sort of a party of some sort. So on the way in, I was very optimistic that this was going to be something fantastic. As I finally get to the office and I go into the meeting room, I could tell that there was a sense of tension in the air, and the executive there really didn't look too happy when we walked in. The people in this room were all very well seasoned, experienced. Several of them actually had this blue Disney badge. If you've ever visited Disney, you notice that most people have white badges, but several of these people had blue badges. And the reason they had these is because they were partners in excellence, which means that they are the top performers as recognized by Disney for various reasons. So when we get into the meeting, we are given a grim, harsh announcement that in 90 days our jobs are ending. And during this period, we have 90 days to train our foreign replacements. The term used was a managed service provider, which is kind of corporate speak for a foreign company that's going to come in and take over what you're doing. If we didn't perform satisfactorily, then the bonus would be withdrawn, and we wouldn't get that. So essentially, running through my head at that point was I had the option of taking a bonus and unemployment benefits and health insurance and those sorts of things for the next 90 days, or walk out at that moment and not train my foreign replacement. It was a feeling of really being unpatriotic. I felt like I was betraying my own country because I was selling myself out for money. I felt like a prostitute in a sense, to be honest with you. So we had 90 days to do this. The first 30 days, we had to have someone sit next to us at our desk in our office and record everything that we did with both audio and video. So everything that I did was recorded on my screen and also recorded via audio. The next morning, I was really surprised. I should keep dropping this. Excuse me. The next morning, I was really surprised to see that everything that we went over that day was completely regurgitated and put in paper format. And so I got to see what I explained, and I was just amazed how that would happen so fast. So apparently, maybe some people were working at night to do this. The second 30-day period out of the 90 days was a period where the person that I was training started to work alongside me. So this person worked in parallel with me, and they started to pick up some of the things that I did. I could tell that these people were not experienced. They had nowhere near the skill or experience that any of us had. We were all kind of wondering if they were really going to be able to support the systems that we did. So, we were really concerned about that. To take a step back, at the meeting with the executive, we were told that new, exciting opportunities were going to be created with new jobs, and we would not be doing the repetitive and maybe duller work, that these new jobs that were being created would be more interesting. And so after a short period of time, we were all applying for these jobs, and really very few people were being interviewed. And in addition to that, only 3 or 4 people that I know of personally got a new job, and several of those people were completely different fields. They were in HR or finance. Only one of those people was in IT. So the training went on there, and I got to watch this person start to take over my job. So the last 90 days was a period where I was watching this person starting to do my job, and I was supposed to completely relinquish control and just make sure that this person was not going to cause serious problems to the systems that we're supporting. So I really, although they weren't doing all of the work that I did because they weren't capable of that, because they weren't as experienced or skilled, they did part of it, and I was supposed to completely step back and give them the reins entirely so that they could completely take over, and I was just there to make sure that nothing happened that would detriment the systems there. And if something did, I felt like I could be jeopardizing the bonus that I was being offered there. The sort of last day was the point where we turned in our company laptops and badges, and we were ushered out the door. And the folks that stayed behind, from my perspective, I believe they're probably doing a lot more work than they did when we were there because of the skill level of the people that came in from the foreign workforce. So that's my story in a nutshell. But before having gone through this, I've been in the IT business for quite some time, since college, actually. I have a bachelor's degree in information technology, and I worked for IBM in the past. So I do have a lot of experience in the IT field. The thing that shocked me the most was I didn't know that it was possible to bring people into our country and physically replace us. That's something that was entirely new to me. I've been completely familiar with offshoring, which is where somebody does your work, from somewhere else in the world, and they do that through the internet. But I had no idea that this was possible, and I couldn't believe that it was possible. I'm just completely shocked that our lawmakers allow this to happen. And it was entirely new to me. That I didn't even know what the H-1B program was until probably months after I was displaced from Disney. So it was something that was entirely new to me, and I just can't imagine that that's possible. So everybody that I tell the story to, whether it's a hairdresser or my attorney, they're all completely shocked that this is possible in our country. And I would say 98% of the people that hear it just cannot believe that this is going on in our country. And there are very few people that think that this makes any sense. The number of comments that have surfaced from the New York Times article and several others show a huge everybody's appalled when they hear the story, and they just can't believe that it's really happening here in our own country.